everybody, it is basically turkey season, and I thought it would be pretty cool to give you guys a rundown of all of the gear and everything that I take to get on the road to go turkey hunting. As most of you know, I don't just hunt one state, I travel all over and I like to hunt elsewhere. So sometimes that means back to back states, and I don't always get to come home in between. So I live out of my car for both deer and turkey, but I'm gonna kind of show you how I do everything for turkey season. It's a little bit different than deer season. But yeah, I'll show you kind of like all my gear and everything that I take with, and I do tend to overpack, but that is because I travel so much, and then obviously I'm filming, so that kind of adds a whole element. But for anybody who might need some advice on what to take what you can, leave what you don't need, and let's go shoot turkeys. Okay, so first thing I'm going to show you guys is my front seat, and this is kind of my catch-all box. I call it my snack bin because I like to snack. So I keep my snacks in here, but I also keep other things in here as well. So internally, I'll show you guys, like I kind of threw everything in. I'm still working on packing, but I kind of threw stuff in just for this video. So I'll show you a little rundown, but I will organize it a little bit better. But then for starters, I have just kind of this like little trash can deal that I hang around the top of the seat. And that's just if I need to trash really fast, and then I can just dump it out anytime I hit a gas station or stop anywhere, you know, once it's full. But that way it kind of keeps my car clean, because obviously when I'm traveling, it's very easy to get messy and dirty, and so I try to keep it as clean as I can just because I am so limited on space. So that's super handy for me to have. Typically in the front, I'll keep any sort of like extra random stuff, so like my laptop, sometimes camera gear, sometimes my makeup bag, sometimes dirty socks when I'm done for the day and my socks are sweaty. It just depends. You never know on the day, but that's kind of like extra storage. I may end up using it for my rubber boots, just as like a storage, because this is a new vehicle for me, and my last one had better spacing in the back for me to put my boots, and this one doesn't have that, so I might have to rework how I like position things. But for the most part, this is kind of just my catch-all seat, and yeah, I'll show you what's in the bin. So as you can see, it's kind of a hodgepodge of things. Like I said, I will be organizing this a little bit better, but this little mini box within the big box is where I have all my snacks. I try to stay as healthy as I can. You guys know how that goes if you're on the road at all. It's very hard to be healthy. But I have this big container that I filled with mixed nuts. I think it's macadamias, almonds, and walnuts. So ignore the pretzel label. That's just a reuse of a bin. I love these Sunbelt Bakery granola bars. I have literally survived off of these for years. I'm not kidding, years and years. Where some days this is the only thing I eat, and that is terrible to say, but Sunbelt, if you're watching, you know, I'm down to be sponsored because I literally love these things so much. So I have 2 boxes of those. And then I do actually have regular pretzels in here, and then these are just something from my local grocery store that are bada bean, bada boom. They're super good. And then I know you guys are going to give me a hard time, but I do have these like Costco 5-hour energy shots. I don't really drink coffee as much as I used to. It kind of, I don't know, it just gives me anxiety, and then I have to pee a lot. So these I love because I just need like 1 or 2 sips and I'm good to go for a long time. And I don't need them every day. It's just if I'm like dragging on, you know, hunting every day, it gets tiring. So I have those handy. And then I also just have just some random little snacks. There's other stuff that I'm going to pack, but I also have these Protect hydration packs, which are super nice to just throw in your water, and it gives you some electrolytes. So these are really nice to have to kind of keep your body going. So anyway, I will probably have more snacks than that, but that's just what I have for now. Moving on is I have this little handy dandy fan, so this will come in handy when we get to the back. I'll show you that in a minute. I've got a rain protector for my camera, extra chargers, extra, just everything camera gear wise. This is a portable charger slash car start. There's jumper cables in here, and it's actually a big power bank that if you have it like a percentage, like 50% or more full, you can start your car in an emergency. So I like to have that because I go to a lot of isolated places where I don't have service a lot of the time, so that's just like a safety thing to have. I have permethrin, so you know how the insects are this time of year, so that's always handy. And then also a thermocell, baby wipes, there's some hot packs, random different cable charger adapters in case I stay at a campground and I need different type of charging, ratchet straps, extra straps, flashlight, different, I need to get a thing of oil for my car just in case I start leaking any oil for any reason. And then I have funnels for that, and then my coolant. So it's always good to have those. Knife blades, hammer, random camera arm things, wrenches. I mean, this is like literally for everything. And then I do want to show you guys this. This is going to be kind of a new thing coming out this year for Painted Arrow. So you guys know I sell the Mag Pro for the GoPro on your bow stabilizer, but now we have one for a gun, and I'm rigging it out. It's meant for a cell phone, but I'm trying to rig it out. I think I'm gonna make it work like this for my GoPro. I think these are gonna be really cool. You're gonna be able to get firsthand footage of, you know, shooting a turkey or even ducks or whatever off your gun barrel. So I'm gonna be using that for sure this year. But anyway, catch-all box. Where everything is currently, it might not fully stay, but this is where I'm gonna come back to my fan. I sleep in my car, so when it's really, really hot, my first stop for the turkey tour is gonna be Texas, so it's probably gonna be really hot, and so I like to have a little fan that I attach to the headrest. Somehow rig it up, and then it can be blowing on me during the night. It's just kind of nice to have when it's really hot out. So I'll have to figure all that out, but something like that. And then I've got my sleeping bag, and this is kind of just where I lay. I'm very short, so I don't have a problem sleeping in a vehicle. I've slept in smaller vehicles than this, so I actually like have some space now, but yeah, I kind of just lay lengthwise, and I've got a couple cushions, like pads underneath. If you guys can see, just sleeping pads that are inflatable, and then a couple layers just to kind of give me some cushion, because my other car I could lay flat with the way the back was and I didn't have any issues. This one, it kind of like has a shelf, so I've needed extra cushion from like basically here down. So I'm still kind of working out the details with how I prefer to sleep, but for the most part it's okay, and I honestly sleep really, really good in a vehicle. Couldn't tell you why, but I sleep so well. So I don't have any issues. Okay, so the other side this is where I was saying I usually keep my rubber boots, or any boots, but I wear rubber boots almost all the time. But the way the seats flip down, they're kind of in the way, so I might end up moving them to the front. But anyway, this is just where they're at for now. But then typically on the opposite side of whatever side I'm sleeping on is where I keep all my bins for storage stuff. This first one here is just all of my clothing, and I'll show you the back in a second. But depending on what I bring, typically for turkey season I don't need a whole bunch of extra stuff, because it's not like I'm using a tree stand or a saddle or anything like that, so I'm usually able to kind of consolidate pretty good. So this is my clothing bin, and then I've also got, so my clothing bin holds mostly just like pants, shirts, hoodies, the bigger stuff, and then I've got a smaller bin that I keep all of my like socks, underwear, bras, beanies, gloves, you know, all the smaller stuff, neck gaiters. That way they're easier to get to, and I don't have to like dig around, because typically by the end of the season all my stuff is so unorganized because I'm just like pulling from it every morning. So it's a good way to just keep the small stuff away from, you know, the bigger stuff for me to find it. So yeah, that's kind of how I put all my stuff. I still gotta figure out if I need another bin or not, but I'll show you here in a second what I have in the back. Really big long bin. I keep all of my decoys in here, and then any extra random like turkey calls or like scratch pads, extra strikers, just anything extra that if I drop stuff in the woods I can come back and get a spare. I've got extra netting for around my camera tripod. I always have some sort of netting with me. I actually have two different kinds because depending on the terrain and like where I'm hunting, if I'm in deep dark timber, this dark stuff looks really good. Or if I'm like in Texas, I'll probably use this lighter stuff. I would assume it's a little more green down there than what it is here, so I like to have extra netting, decoys, you know, they're all kind of mixed in here. And I don't always run a decoy, but I like to just have options. So, you know, every bird's different, so what they react to is different, and I like to play the game. So whatever it takes to figure them out, that's what I'm doing. And I really prefer, like, I need a new fan, but this is just a Jake fan that I can stick in a strutter. So I have currently one of everything. I have a strutter decoy, I have a Jake, and then I have a feeding hen. I have these like foam hens from like Walmart or something that I can use in a pinch to make like a flock, but it's pretty rare that I have to do that, so they're just kind of shoved at the bottom. But I like to just have different options. So if I can get that back down. So yeah, this is mostly just my, like, I just call it my turkey bin. So anything that I might need is in here. Then we got my shotgun. I typically put this like away from me a little more once I'm like laying down for the night, but for just to store it, I just kind of have it in the back wherever it fits. I've got the Franke Affinity 3 Catalyst. I've used this gun for I guess a year and a half now, for both turkeys and geese. I'd like to get into more waterfowl stuff, so this has been a really good all-around gun. I love it. I killed the crap out of turkeys last year, so I'm very excited to take it back out. And I for sure always put a sling on it because I carry way too much crap, so for turkey season, I make sure I have that on. But this is a killer gun. I just have the mid-range choke. It's a cremator, I think, and it's technically a waterfowl choke, but it works just fine for my turkey loads, which are heavy shot. I'm not sponsored or anything by these. I just have used these for a long time. Heavy metal, 20 gauge, 3-inch, 4-shot, 1 ounce. So this is what I run. And I can shoot pretty far with these, truthfully. I killed a bird last year at 50 something, so I forget what exactly, 50 something. I don't like to shoot them that far, but it works pretty good for if I like absolutely have to. So that's the setup. So as you guys know, I work with Tethered, and I am being sent a turkey vest, but it's not going to be here in time for Texas. So I'm going to have to use just this Sika vest that I was given. Geese are flying. So I'm actually kind of curious to see how this is. The old turkey vest that I had was terrible. I lost calls out of it. I would lose strikers, and I'd get super mad because I'd be like, where's my stuff? So I'm always on the hunt for like the next turkey vest that could be better. And obviously I'm a woman, so like my frame is a lot smaller, and a lot of the vests are just for these big men that just they're way too big for me, and I just can't stand it. So this seems promising. We'll see how it works, but frame-wise, it's nice and compact, so I do like that about it. I do wish it had a bird bag, because sometimes I like to shove my decoys in there, or like any extra netting or anything that I need to just shove somewhere. I like to have that, but I'm gonna probably just bring a decoy bag instead, and we'll just see how it goes. But for now, this is what we're working with, so it is what it is. But I've got, what do I have? In the main pouch, I do like that it also has these orange flags, because I do hunt public some, so just in case. Safety first. I don't know what I even have in here yet. Headlamp. You guys, if you need a good headlamp, this is a Bushnell one. And when you think of headlamp, you probably don't think of Bushnell. But I've had this thing, I kid you not. What do you think? 7 years? I want to say like 7 years. And it is the best headlamp ever. It's got red light. It's got different like white light settings. And dimmers. And then you hold it down, you get a red light. Oh, hold on. There you go. I'm not just talking it up. And it's rechargeable. And so I usually keep it literally on my center console in my car, and I just charge it as I'm driving, and it lasts forever. So good. So go get one, because they're great. And then I have chapstick, because you cannot ever have too much chapstick, especially if you're like out west, or like I'm going to be in Texas where it's going to be super dry. I need this. If there's anything for you to pack out of my suggestions, it's chapstick. Okay, next pouch has binoculars. I do not personally love bino harnesses. They just very much get in my way. I may bring like just a very simple rope one, but for the most part, I put my binos just in my pack. That's also why I would love to have a bird bag, because I used to just shove them in that because I could grab them easy. So I'm not sure. I still have to finesse that part, but anyway, Bushnell R5 series. These are the 12x50s. I like them because they're kind of a good mid-range. They're a little bit bigger than the 10x42s, but size-wise, it's not that much bigger, and they're not crazy heavy, so I do like that. What else? Gobble thing. I forget what. You shaker gobble. I'm gonna call turkey in. Okay, hear me out. These things, if you ever have a hung up tom, you throw this at him, even if it sounds crappy, he's like, oh, wait a second, and it changes the game. I swear by these, so that's a little trick if you just cannot seem to call a bird in. Throw one of them at him. Come in on a string. What else? I've got a portable charger for my phone. This one also has a solar panel, so I can just sit this puppy out, let it charge. If I'm just sitting there for a while, I can let it charge on its own, and then I got it to charge my phone or any like batteries. Typically I charge my batteries overnight, but sometimes I forget or whatever. So it's nice to have, and it's compact enough that it's not a pain to carry around. I take that deer hunting too, and it's great. I think that's it for the big pouch. What else? What else? Okay, in the front, this is my first time messing with this thing, so I don't know where all the pockets are. Okay, in the front is a pot call spot. This is one I actually got at the NWTF show. It is copper, and then on the back there's a little slate section. This thing sounds so great. Unfortunately, I lost the striker that it came with because it was my old turkey pack that was terrible and would drop everything. So I don't have the original of those, but it was similar to this one where it's like the mixed wood. I don't know, it just sounds really, really good. And I haven't even really scratched it. You get the idea. I don't want my neighbors looking too much. And then also I have extra scratch pads in here, and then a little mouth call carry case. I don't typically use mouth calls too much. Like, I literally just use my voice for most of the time. But for like, if they're still in the tree and I need to do like a fly down cackle, I'll typically use a mouth call for that. And then I'll use a pot call, and then if they're anywhere near, or if I feel like I have to incorporate more sounds, I'll do both that and my voice. I'm just not the best mouth caller, and it's my own fault. I should practice more, but I'm pretty good at the cackle, and then I don't feel like I really need it after that because I can just so anyway, strikers in the front. This pouch is for a box call, but I'll probably end up honestly putting a water bottle in it, so it's kind of a little I got a knife in this section, and then it also has these like interior pouches. So I have a box of shells because, you know, I would forget to bring a box, a pen for if I have to fill out my tags. Last year I shot enough turkeys that I actually noticed a difference in my hearing after the end of the season. So I got some Caldwell shooting earbud things. I use these for geese too, but I just think this would be handy for me to have. The only thing is I've noticed when I'm trying to like call or goose call or whatever, it really throws the sound off and I can't quite tell what I sound like. So I have to leave them out for that, but I think for turkeys I would be okay to kind of just make it work for the shot. I don't know, losing your hearing's not worth it, okay? That's all I'm gonna say. And then the very last pouch, I've got a crow call, which I could probably shove that somewhere else too, but, and then a poncho and some rubber gloves. The poncho is for if it decides to randomly rain and I need to cover up my camera gear really fast. Always keep one of those on me, whether I'm deer hunting or turkey hunting or whatever, because I'm not interested in ruining my camera gear. So that is like the gist of the turkey pouch. So I would pretty much just have this, a decoy bag, my gun, and camera stuff. So yeah, I think that's the majority. Like I said, I tend to overpack, so you know, if you don't think you need to carry all this crap, then just don't. But those are just kind of like my essentials. I really do use everything I bring at one point or another, so I like to have it. And then the only other thing that I would say is I do typically have a cooler that I bring, and what I'll do is I'll put like a hitch hauler thing on the back. I'm not ready to put it on yet, but it's just a hitch hauler, and then I ratchet strap my cooler to it, and I have locks on it so that way, you know, nobody tries to steal my cooler. But yeah, that's kind of what I do. And then if I shoot a turkey, throw any meat on ice and it's good to go, especially if I'm still traveling, that way it doesn't go bad. And that has worked pretty well. So I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think that is it. I'm trying to think if there's any other random things that I bring. Just camera gear, which, I mean, I have GoPros, I have the main camera, obviously, that you're looking at this through. My laptop I bring because I edit when I have free time. And then the only other thing I guess I would say is for any women out there, if you're trying to travel alone, stay strapped. That's all I'm going to say about it. So do that and have fun. I'm excited. I leave in a couple of days and I cannot wait. I've been itching to get out. So if you guys are out, good luck. Shoot straight, know your target, stay safe, and see you guys in the next one.